Welcome back, everyone. I'm excited to share today's show with you. As you know from last week, if you're a listener of the show, Doug and I were traveling. We were in Italy for my birthday. And, when you leave your normal life, when you leave your routine, you start to come into contact with opportunities to notice your growth, notice your healing, notice you in a new situation. And for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I say that healing is when you're different in the same situation. So when you travel, I think you get a chance to test that out. So today, I want to go over, we did do some interviews in Italy, and I will share that with you in a minute. But I wanted to kind of capture some of those lessons that Doug and I both had, because we probably had some different lessons between the two of us. So welcome back to the show, Doug.
Oh, it's awesome to be here. So leave it to us to go to Italy and come back with 5 life lessons learned while in Italy. So, part of it is writing off the podcast as a part of our business, but it's just the greatness and the fun and all the great activities that we did while we were in Italy. I'm excited to be able to share this episode, so you'll get to hear some great things that we had time to do while we were in Italy that will serve as some of these life lessons that we're about to share with you on today's episode.
Well, without further ado, though, I do want to introduce those segments that are coming up after this intro that Doug and I are going to do about our 5 life lessons from Italy. And part of one of those lessons is to be flexible. And before we went on this trip, I was trying to schedule an interview with one of the wineries in Positano, and it just didn't work out. And then I was trying to book a pizza making class in Sorrento when we were in Positano, and that just didn't work out. And so
don't forget about Tommy. You wanted to also
right, and then Tommy Dalentica, I wanted to interview him, and we've met him in LA, and we've been back and forth, and that didn't work out. So I guess one of the first life lessons is to be flexible and just trust that things are just going to work out the way that they need to. And when we got to Florence, I looked up some just places around Florence. I think in the future, I'd like to do a little trip with some of you guys to do a gluten-free Florence.
You couldn't have handpicked a better place for us to have as our residence while in Florence. I mean, literally right around the corner, within 100 feet of an amazing cafe, several amazing restaurants, great activities. And I just kept thinking, how did you not know of all of these things before you even booked it? But again, part of it is just going with the flow. If you have a plan when you go into something and you don't have any flexibility to get to whatever the alternate plans are, you'll completely miss them. So be open to opportunity. Oh, that could be a 6th life lesson. Be open to opportunity.
Be open. Okay, I'm going to add that as number 6. So now we did stay in the same place I stayed back in 2015 in Florence. I loved the location so much that without hesitation, I booked it again. But what I didn't know are all of the new places that were around it that weren't there before. And the first place that the only place we interview in Florence is Base V Juicery. I don't know what I was looking up, but I found a oat milk cappuccino, and I thought, we got to go there. And it literally was the first business outside of our door, like the first place that you could actually pay somebody to get something. It was so close within walking distance of the front door of the apartment that we stayed in. So you're going to hear about Base V Juicery first in Florence. And then we moved to Positano. And one of the things that I wanted to do in Positano, I'd done a little research beforehand, and they love lemons. Lemons are their gold. And I don't know how many of you know that we have a lemon tree. We have a Meyer lemon tree, and I love lemons, and we love lemons. But now there's a new level of lemons, because it literally serves them.
Because you can make liquor out of lemons.
Right. So we took a limoncello class with Valentino, and both Base V Juicery and Valentino's information are going to be in the show notes and links to their Instagram accounts and their websites. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'd suggest if you have any interest of going to Italy that you follow them too. If any of these, or if anybody that you know is going, please pass on their information. And we'll talk more about that later on in this episode. And then the third place we went when we got to Naples. So when we were based on these, be flexible, right? So in my mind, I was scheduling some things ahead of time, not necessarily to interview people, but just to have experiences. And at first, being in Positano for a couple of days and a couple of nights, I was looking up things to do around Positano. And one of the things that came up was a pizza making class. And I thought, great, let's do that. The problem was we didn't rent a car, nor did we want to. And Sorrento was about 30 minutes in the opposite direction, like back towards Naples from Positano. And so the more that I sat with it, I didn't book it right away. I thought, well, hold on. We're going to Naples. Naples is known to be the best pizza on the planet, the birthplace of pizza.
Amen.
Why aren't we taking a pizza making class in Naples? So we did that with Chef Luigi Mara, and he is the owner of San Carlo 17 in Naples, and he is the final interview that we did. And the best thing about it is that he also had gluten-free, and I didn't even know that. It just sort of happened. It just worked out that way. So now back to our life lessons. And again, all of the gentlemen that we interviewed, all of their information and their businesses will be on the show notes. So please make sure to click below or click on See More so you can learn more about their businesses. And definitely please visit. Please let them know you heard about us on the show if you plan to make a trip there. And also keep in the back of your mind, I'd love to know if anybody wants to do a gluten-free Italy with me. It would probably be Florence and Naples. I think I would hit those two major cities to do a gluten-free Italy trip. So like I said before, the first one is be flexible. I know too many people that plan and over-plan trips. They think they're going to get everything down to the minute. And
ooh, I hate that.
Right. And it doesn't really work that way. And in fact, in this one, we planned a little bit more than the last trip to Italy because I did book our train ticket from Florence to Naples ahead of time. That I had to do ahead of time in order to get a driver to pick us up to take us to Positano. But other than that, our last trip to Italy also, we did it we had nothing planned. We had nothing planned. It was just here. We're going to stay here for this many nights. We didn't even plan the trains in between the cities. We just thought we'll do it when we get there. We'll see how we feel. And that was, I know for Doug, that was a new thing for you.
Yeah, I loved going without necessarily a specific direction for each location that we were going to, and yet at the same time we had the home base at each location. We had the Airbnb at each one of those locations that we went to. Did a lot of shopping, a lot of eating in a lot of locations, and I was so amazed and surprised at how much walking we actually did. I mean, I'm looking at my the health meter on my iPhone, and we averaged over 10,000 steps for the busy days that we were there. And
our high was 16,000. Even yesterday in the airports, we were over 6,000, close to 7,000, and that's just walking to the airports and in the airports and all that good stuff. So I want to mention something else about being flexible, because I have to be honest, for anyone that's read any of my Facebook posts or my Instagram, Doug did not want to go on this trip. Talk a little bit about that.
I have some resistance leaving my house. I just love my house. I love my surroundings. I love the comfort. I love all the things that are familiar to me. And, it was a challenge. I think it was from the moment that you said probably a few months ago that you wanted to go to Italy for your birthday again. I know you always want to go to Italy for your birthday, but you started to put the plans into action a few months ago. And I'm like, well, she hasn't actually asked me, but it was my fault because I didn't say that I wasn't going or I didn't want to go. And it's not like I don't have a good time. I hope you feel like I had a good time when I went. It's just getting out of that your normal routine. Maybe lesson 7, stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit more often would be another great life's lesson to learn. Because I am so comfortable and so familiar with my routines and my habits and the things that I do. Anything that gets me out of that, I'm so hesitant and resistant to it. And I just thought, well, I'm just going to do it. I wasn't going to put it on you to find someone to go with you within 30 days of the trip. And I just didn't want to do that. And I wanted to enjoy, like in the back of my mind, of course, I want to enjoy all of these things that you want to do. You just go at a different pace than I go, not necessarily on vacation as we get to the plans, but at a different pace, and you want to do this, and sometimes that's my challenge. But I know that's not about our relationship. It's more about my relationship with me. So yeah, there was some resistance to it, and I always come home having said, "Man, that was a great time. I had a great trip." And again, part of just who I am over the last many years is just opening up to different possibilities and different things that should be going on in my life that I don't allow in because I limit myself. And sometimes you just have to let that resistance go and surrender.
Do you know, like within the first maybe 48 hours, you said to me, "Thank you for bringing me here"?
I bet I did. I'm sure I did. I do say that. And I know that I know that the biggest challenge for me is getting over the initial hurdle of the journey. part of the journey isn't necessarily the destination that we're going to. Like, I love the idea of going to Italy. It's just getting there and then getting home. It's a 14-hour flight from Los Angeles. And then by the time you factor in all of the layovers and everything, you're literally using an entire day, and you're losing a day when you go, and you're picking up a day. And it just, my internal clock just, it's totally messed up. And I feed into that. And that part of that is that I allow that to cloud the other things that I want to be able to do, which is like enjoying the idea of going on the trip.
So did you have a good time?
Of course I had a good time. And again, I hope it shows in not only the pictures that I had a good time, but in your feeling of me doing the activities as we were doing them. Did you sense it all? That
And I'm just trying to relay that to the people that are listening, because I think out of all the places that we've gone, all the trips that we've done, this was the one you had the most resistance to. And we did have a talk about that, and it was a painful talk about 30 days before the birthday, before we were leaving. And you said, and you just acknowledged all the things. We used the couple's dialogue. We used the feelings and needs list. We did all the things we talked about in last week's episode to deal with the situation and sort of find out what was going on. And then once we got off the plane in Florence and we were walking towards the apartment, Doug said, "I like the vibe here." And I started to cry. And I thought, okay, like there's something about Florence and me, and it's not something that makes any logical sense.
It's a beautiful city. It really is. It's not that I didn't have a great time in Naples, but Naples is more like a city. It's a little bit dirtier. I don't want to say it's dirty at all, because I think it's a great city, but it is an old city that looks old. It feels a little tired, some parts of it, unless you're in like the shopping area or the food area. Walking down to everything is under construction in Naples. In Florence, I just felt like this is a really cool happening city. It was almost like it was a foreign New York City.
Well, Florence is prettier, and Naples is more New York, but maybe a little, like you said, older, rougher. It's been through a lot more war, and it's a little rougher city, but it also has passion. It also has the best pizza in the world, and it has a lot to offer. So we don't want to discourage you from Naples.
Yeah, I feel like our trip would not have been complete without Naples. I think that was great, and Chef Luigi and the folks that we met in Naples. It was a great addition to the trip.
So lesson number 1, of course, be flexible. And I'm going to jump down to, let's just add 2 more. Like you said, getting out of your comfort zone. And ultimately, you did this because you wanted to support me. But ultimately, you also made money while you were away. You didn't need to work. You felt, and you also added our 5th one today. And I'm jumping around. You said, have more fun, which, let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think we all go through life 9 to 5. Oftentimes, we are worried about where our next meal ticket's coming from, the next sale that's going to be closed if you're self-employed, the next vacation or something that you're going to be able to go on. All of the things that are distractions. Your email inbox, all of the things that are huge distractions distract us from having fun. And I think having fun is really an integral part of living. Without the having fun part, like, why are you doing the other parts? Why are you working so hard if you can't work hard to have fun? So put the work part aside when you go on vacation and learn to have fun a lot more.
Good. Yay. I'm glad that you added that. So the another one that I added was to be resourceful. That came up a couple different times because, we had, so Italy and a lot of European countries do not use dryers because it takes up a lot of electricity and it's very expensive for them. So a lot of them just offer washers and then they hang their clothes to dry. Well, it was raining, it was cold, it was wet, it was damp, and hanging our clothes outside was not going to be an option. So we ended up putting our clothes in one of the rooms. We rented a 2-bedroom in Positano and we put the heater on. And so we basically had, one room was our room, the other room was the drying room.
The dryer.
Right? So being resourceful and not, freaking out or, with all things, again, back to looking at the difference between flexibility is learning to go with the flow. Being resourceful is looking for another option. So when we were going to Capri, the island of Capri or Capri, depending on if you're saying it in Italian or English, which we didn't even know we were going to get to, because the next lesson from Italy is to also use your internal guidance and stop looking at your phone and the weather report. Because if the weather report was true, this would have been the most rain trip ever that I've ever been on. And it might have been the least rain trip. Like, going into this trip, it looked like rain everywhere, every day. And literally it rained twice for any significant amount of time. And one of them, it was super late and we only got caught it because we were walking home from dinner. But other than that, the rain didn't even affect anything. And so I was planning on one of the days of going to Capri, our last day in Naples. But it literally was supposed to be thunderstorming. And every day, the entire trip, I looked at the weather and it said thunderstorming. 97% chance, 87% chance. Well, the day before, it ended up being 50% chance. We woke up on Friday with no plans because it was supposed to be thunderstorming and raining, and it was sunny. And I said, we're going to Capri because I want to get to an island. That's why we did 2 nights in Naples. But we were being flexible and we were being resourceful for this reason. So we went to the boat to Capri, and we were on a smaller sort of ferry, which was very bumpy and rough because of the weather on the way there.
JJ does not like bumpy and rough.
No, I don't do well. I was tapping the entire time, but it was fine. I mean, I made it through. It wasn't that long. And then when we wanted to come back, because of the weather, they were canceling boats.
Yikes. Yeah, we got the last boat back, which was actually the big ferry that they take back and forth between Sorrento and Capri and Naples. And fortunately, we just, we were able to catch that. We were a couple hours early for that, but we were able to get a ticket to get on that because that would have been our last opportunity to get back to the mainland.
Well, not last. So here's where the be resourceful is. So if when you start to study the landscape of the places that you go, and we're on Capri again, they canceled. We were going to take a 1:30 ferry back to Naples, and that got canceled. And so it looked like when I went to the website, like nothing was available. No. So rather than freaking out, I looked at, well, where are they going? Well, they're going to Sorrento. All right. Well, Sorrento's 30 minutes from Naples, and there are public buses, and we could get a cab or a taxi if we wanted to. So I thought, all right, well, there are boats leaving. They're just not going to Naples potentially, and they're going to go to Sorrento. Not ideal, but we can still get home tonight. So it's about not freaking out. And
it ended up that they didn't even go to Sorrento. They only went to maybe they did after.
Well, the ferry we were on, there were other boats going to Sorrento, but we were the only ferry. That was the only ferry left for the entire day on a Friday to go back to Naples from Capri. So, you want to be resourceful. You want to take a nice deep breath, and you want to just trust. And that's another thing I've been thinking about on this trip. How many people, it's like the degree of fear versus trust. And how much fear do you have, and how much trust do you just know that things are going to work out, and you'll figure it out, and it may take you on a different path, and it may seem inconvenient, but it may be just fine, and it may just be your attitude. So I thought that, I love that we didn't freak out. There was a pit in my stomach for a second when they were like, oh, there are no more boats to Naples. And I thought, crap.
It was nothing like last year or maybe 2 years ago, whenever it was that we went to Greece and we had to go to the island and we needed a COVID test. Remember last minute we needed a COVID test and literally this big ferry, the last one or whatever, was leaving. And they said, no, you can't get on without it. And we just kind of then just blended in with the herd.
That's we were early. When you're early and they have nothing else to do, they nitpick at all the rules. When you go with the crowd, they don't have time to do that. So, so be reasonable. Also, I'm going to go back to using your internal guidance when it comes to and your intuition, when it comes to, again, the weather, when it comes to the plans. I wanted to be a little bit more scheduled because I wanted to have some interviews. And then I thought, you know what? That's when this whole taking the pizza class in Naples came up. And I thought, well, that makes more sense. And also learning the lay of the land. When we got to Florence, we stayed in Florence, took a train to Naples, got picked up in Naples, and got taken to Positano. Now, a lot of people had recommended we see Pompeii and Mount Vesuvius, which is their volcano, which created Pompeii, which is a very old city.
It didn't create Pompeii. It created the ruins of Pompeii.
Right.
Yeah, everything under 19 feet of ash. That was really interesting to read the story of Pompeii.
But Pompeii is about 30 minutes from Naples. It's also 30 minutes from Positano. And without a car, it became something that I thought, well, how are we going to get there? When are we going to do it? It just seems like it's it's too much effort and I don't know how much I really want to go. Same thing with Capri and Ischia, which are the islands that we thought about visiting, and the fact that we didn't have a car. We chose not to have a car. And then as the trip unfolded, we'd had a driver. We were his first customers of the season because we also go during off season because my birthday is in off season. Now, I'd like to go at one point in season, maybe early in season, like April, because I definitely don't want to be there when there are crowds.
I can only imagine how crowded Florence is. If we went in off season, which we did, and it was still packed in Florence.
Yeah.
How busy it would be in
on season?
In on season.
Totally.
Exactly.
In season. So learning the lay of the land, we passed, our driver pointed out Vesuvius and Pompeii on the way from Naples to Positano. And I thought, well, he's going to drive us back. We could have checked in a lot earlier, but I didn't know that. We have to check out at 10 a.m. in Positano. Why don't we just pay him to go take us to Pompeii? It's on the way. And that's exactly what we did. So it's about, again, allowing things to sort of unfold and to see what feels efficient, I don't like to come home and need a vacation from my vacation. I want to go and blend in with the culture. I want to go have an experience. I don't need to see everything. And I don't think Doug definitely doesn't need to see anything. His thing was food, and that's all we had pretty much.
We had a great time food, a great time shopping. Even though I didn't buy anything, I still like I like shopping.
The last lesson that I wrote down was to be unattached. And unattached to, again, the whole Capri and whether or not we were going to make it back to Naples that night. Even when we were coming back, our flight, because Air France had a strike, and we were delayed on our first flight from Naples to Paris, and then we were delayed again from Paris back to LA. But Doug, in good fashion, said, oh, if we have to stay the night in Paris, I want to take you to the speakeasy. So he started to get excited about the opportunity of us spending a night in Paris by accident, not because we planned it. And he took a positive approach to that. And that's a really important attitude to have, not only when you're traveling, but in life, rather than to look at all the reasons why it's uncomfortable or why it didn't happen that way. This whole control aspect that we have, when you can flip it and pivot and say, well, what good could happen from this? What fun thing could happen from this? It makes travel and life a lot easier.
I just remember, if I go back to 2014 when I wrote Nice Guys Finish First, the book that launched this new career that I started in this other space other than my DJ business. And my whole position was, I'm going to create this book so that I can go on to be a customer service consultant and build an entire business out of that. And yet that is totally not what happened. You have to look for the opportunity in every situation that you have. So for me, my entire career, what's the last lesson that you just shared with? Be unattached. I was unattached to the idea of I had to be a management consultant in customer service. I just knew that I wanted to gravitate towards a career that I enjoyed. I enjoyed the people around me. I enjoyed what I was doing. I enjoyed the team that I was working with. And it's not customer service at all, as you know, JJ, and as your audience might know also. It's in podcast production. So for me, being unattached to the results of having to be in management consulting when it comes to customer service, I feel like I'm happier now than I would have ever been had I gone into that element or that career.
Yeah, I mean, being unattached in life is a whole nother episode I may do in general about our control issues, and it really gets boiled down to two things: how much you fear and how much you trust. And I know it's a sweeping overview for most people to consider because it's not specific, but if you really look at and be honest about when you freak out about things, whatever they may be, when you get upset about something, especially during travel, a lot of angry people travel and they get very upset when something doesn't go their way, or because again, they're out of their comfort zone, they're out of their routine, which means you're not flexible. And it doesn't matter for us or anyone else if you're flexible, it matters for you. It's about having a good experience. And that will lead to another one Doug added, which was to be open to opportunity. Because we went to this trip with zero interviews scheduled, but we took the recorder because I wanted to interview people and I wanted to get into the culture and I wanted to learn more and I wanted to experience things and share things with you. and really one at a time, from Base V Juicery and then when we did the limoncello, and I said, well, hey, can we interview him after we're done with the class? And then with Chef Luigi, I asked him on an Airbnb message, which, by the way, shout out to Airbnb. We booked all of our lodging through Airbnb, and we also scheduled both Valentino and Chef Luigi's classes through Airbnb. So if you are traveling all over the world, and even locally, I'm sure, definitely look at, we did this on the Taste the Ojai Experience podcast. One of our guests that we had, Firestick Pottery, who's down the block over here, she's very, very busy from a lot of Airbnb traffic. So if you have a business, if you have some kind of class that you offer, put it on Airbnb. And if you're traveling on Airbnb, use those experiences and find classes, because they're super fun, and we've had very positive experiences with all of them.
All together, all around, just a great trip. So many lessons learned for me just as a human being, but also a great time spending your birthday with you. So I had a great time, JJ. Thanks for including me in the plans, and thanks for putting up with my BS the entire planning process. I hope that did not show, and I wasn't faking it. I had a great trip. As you know, I always have a great time no matter where I go.
I know. Just getting you over the hump, which we did, and you did. So I appreciate your flexibility, your persistence, your willingness to be open. And I know you had a great time you kept saying, thank you for bringing me here. And oh my God, the food. And you tell people, oh, when we come back next time. And oh, we didn't even use all our euros because, oh, we'll save it for the next trip. So all very positive things. I hope you all enjoy the interviews that we did with the next 3 guests that are going to be here momentarily. Again, beautiful accents in Italian. So just, and please check out their businesses, support their businesses, visit their businesses, and then let me know if you're interested in doing a gluten-free Italy at some point in the future. Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm excited to share with you this journey. We are currently in Florence, in Italy. This is my birthday trip. It is 2023. I have someone special with me.
Oh, wow. Hey, is that me or is that Caesar?
Yes.
Hey, I'm Doug Sandler. You guys may have heard me on the show, just being referred to as the fake husband, I think, right?
Yeah, we're decided to bring, of course, the equipment, as we always do, to find cool things to want to share with you. And when we first got here, so we're staying at the same place I stayed in 2015. And when I came down the stairs this time and turned the corner, literally, the first business is called Base Juicery. And I saw that they had a cappuccino, an oat milk cappuccino, and I said, we have to go there. So we came, it's an amazing place, and I had to learn more. So I've invited one of the owners, or the owner. Are you the owner?
Yeah, we're actually 3 partners. Okay. So I'm one of the owners, yeah.
So welcome, Caesar. Please introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Cesare Achille, and we started this new concept, Base V Juicery, in 2018. And yeah, thanks for having us on your podcast.
Yes. Can you pronounce your name again for me so I don't say it wrong?
Cesare.
Cesare, you were born in Long Beach.
Yes. I actually was. My parents are both Italian. My mom is from Rome, my dad from Naples, but my mom studied in Malibu, and then she lived there for a while. And so my sister and I were born in Long Beach. Yeah.
When did you move back to Italy?
We moved back right away. We were like 3 months, but we traveled to the U.S. often, and we studied in international schools, and my mom really cared that we had dual, citizenship and culture.
Perfect.
The first thing I thought when I came in here is I thought this place would do well in Ojai, California, because of just the products that you have and the level of service that you have as well. So I really have enjoyed the couple of meals that we've had here. Not only your avocado toast, but your hummus toast this morning. Your coffee is great. I love it. But I'm getting way ahead of the game here.
So I want to know, when people think of Italy, they think of pizza, pasta, and wine, which of course we're doing all of those also. But as a gluten-free person, and when I was here in 2015, I did not think I could do it. I did see back then people would put in their windows like a sign that would say gluten-free pasta available, but I wasn't going to try because I thought it would be too hard. this time, I'm so surprised by how many places are like tonight. We're going to be going to Mr. Pizza, which is 100% gluten free. It's for celiacs. Right across the way here is another one, Sagoro, I think, or Sagrano, and they're 100% gluten free. Everything, tiramisu, all the paninis, and you guys have gluten free desserts. I had your peanut butter chocolate chip cookie this morning. It was fabulous. I've had one of your smoothies. We've had coffee. We've had toast. And I noticed that most of your things are vegan. Can you tell us a little bit about the change of the culture here in Italy and when you opened your business?
Sure. So I would like to start by saying that usually options come out when you reach some kind of extreme. The US is always first in this because often in the US extremes happen faster, and I mean Europe in front of the wave. So you arrive to a point where people were eating too much junk food. It was really hard to get good fresh produce, and for that reason, processed foods were all over the place. And so concepts like this started coming out here. It was for a longer time. It was more eating at home. Fresh produce and quality produce was easily available and not that expensive. And so in general, it's a bit of a standard thing that you say, but it is true. In Italy, the average quality of food you eat is high, and so people didn't really feel the need to really go look for something healthy. Like every developed country in the last few years, more supermarkets, less eating at home, more eating out. A change started happening, especially in the city here too, and people started eating a bit more on the go. And, the only options were a slice of pizza or a panino with salami or prosciutto. And it's great, but on the long run, then it started affecting people. And so people started looking for something healthier, something different. And that's when things started changing.
Are you vegan?
No, I don't consider myself vegan. And we actually support who makes that kind of decision, but we feel that to make the biggest impact, it's important to make the idea of plant-based eating more inclusive. And so that means you can eat a steak or a piece of prosciutto once in a while. The important thing is going back to a standard of eating that is more within an equilibrium of how you're supposed to eat. We eat too much meat. That's a reality.
Yes. Well, I know. I think coming to Italy again, I'm not going to come and eat like I normally eat at home because the availability of the things here. So I work with a naturopathic doctor back at home in different things, and she was just here, and she said, the wheat here is different. And just to give an example, she quoted that here in Italy, you add 3% gluten to wheat versus in America, we add 60. But the other difference is that in America, we let our wheat sit on shelves for 2 years in a warehouse versus you grow it, you make it, you bake it immediately. There's a freshness to it. And so because of that, I'm eating more of that here. But of course, we need vegetables. And this is not a place I'm eating a lot of vegetables because of the things that the skewing away from what I would normally eat at home. We would go to the farmer's market and we would have a salad every night. We would have vegetables with our breakfast. We would have juices sometimes. But I love that your juices, I already bought 2 of them.
Yeah. and what you're saying is very important. And one thing that many people don't realize is that here in Italy, one thing that doesn't happen much is eating raw vegetables. So you eat salad, fruits you eat, but you eat the typical fruits like banana, orange, apple, but you don't eat a lot of kale or spinach raw. And this is one thing that we felt that it was important to have as an option. So being able to have juices that allowed you to have black kale raw. Here you cook it in ribollita all the time, but by cooking it, it becomes a different product. No antioxidants, and a lot of the vitamins get oxidized. So yeah, I feel that's another thing about the way you eat here. You have a lot of great produce, but you don't eat it raw. You cook it all the time, and so that also I feel is something that people hopefully are becoming more aware of.
So let's talk about. So you started 3 years ago.
Yes, actually four. Four. And I've always done a lot of sports, and I've always wanted to do something in the food industry. And one of my partners and good friends from high school worked in his family business, which was fruit and vegetable distribution, and he wanted to do something innovative in the sector. And so one day we sat down at a dinner, and we're like, we should do something in food together. And talking about vegetables, we ended up thinking, we'll open Base V. And a year later, it took a year, but a year later we opened the first store, the one where we are in now. And now we just opened the fourth one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we have 3 in Florence and 1 in Milan.
Explain the name, Base V.
Yeah. So Base V stands for Base Vegetale, which is the literal translation of plant-based in Italian. So we really like the idea of the word plant-based and the fact that it is inclusive. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are excluded from eating any dairy or product, but it means that your diet is mainly plant-based, and then you can take it as far as you want. And we thought that was a good way to identify what we were trying to do: make plant-based food, non-processed, fresh, freshly made in our stores, more easily available, and for the go in Italy.
Well, I was happy to see, I mean, I'm not vegan, but again, all the fresh vegetables and the juices and things, I definitely, and oat milk, oh my gosh, was very excited about that. But when I saw I could add like a little bit of cheese or an egg to my toast, and I thought, is it a vegan egg? Is it a vegan cheese? And it would have been fine if it would have been vegan cheese. But the egg, which I did not have, but I was excited to see that I could have had an egg. So to me, like that's a perfect blend of a little bit of, if you're going to have some things available, like an egg, feels like a good combination. Because sometimes if someone's not vegan and they want an egg, then they can't get that. And what I don't like is a lot of the processed vegan products, which you don't seem to have. It's all, again, very fresh. It's mostly plants and juices and vegetables, not processed things.
For us, the priority is having homemade, non-processed foods, and also making people feel better. And many times, people are becoming more aware of the digestive problems and what causes them. And my girlfriend is celiac. I'm lactose intolerant. My mother just discovered that she's intolerant to quite a few different, even vegetables. And sometimes these things change, are also linked to the immune system and how we react to certain things. And sometimes in some occasions it becomes hard even just to be vegan, even if you want to be vegan. I've had situations where you become intolerant to peas and lentils, and you need to get your protein somewhere. And for example, an egg or some aged cheese is a good way to introduce that, and you shouldn't feel bad for doing it if in that moment you need it to feel healthy. So I've seen people go back and forth, and maybe my girlfriend is vegan for some time, but then since she's celiac and she has a few other intolerances, sometimes when she doesn't have other options, eggs really help her get what she needs.
Right, which I appreciate that you have that here. I mean, not that you can't find that in other places here, but no. So a couple of years ago, so tell us where the other stores are.
So we opened the first one here in Via dei Neri, just behind the Uffizi, and then
which is in Florence.
Yeah, which is in Florence. And the second one we opened inside a food court, a very interesting concept that was born here in Florence, called Mercato Centrale. And
that's also in Florence?
Yeah, it's also in Florence, in San Lorenzo, and it's a food market where they have a lot of different concepts inside. And they opened the new one in 2021 in Milan. And so we opened with them in the Milan train station, Central Station. At the same time, around the same time, we opened another store here in Florence, just by Ponte Vecchio. And just 3 days ago, we started a new partnership we are very excited about with the Social Hub, which is a hotel chain all over Europe. And we opened in one other 400-room locations here in Florence, close to the Fortezza. So, yeah, very exciting.
I like it when you walk into the store. Everything is it's like an open kitchen. You're seeing the actual products being made, and it's very, it's great to be able to see how the things work. And your commercial equipment is amazing. Is that stuff that is readily available to other people that are doing juicing, or is that something that you created with the manufacturer?
So the machines we have are machines that are readily available, but as you well noticed, they're quite commercial machines. You don't find them in normal restaurant kitchens. And we're also very proud of the fact that there are a lot of trendy concepts that are similar somehow to what we do, but very few. And I would say we're definitely the first ones and probably the only ones in Florence and in many parts of Italy to actually have a real cold press machine in their store, to have a blixer like the one we have, which is a 20-kilo blixer to make hummus and butters, because those you usually find in industrial kitchens, not to cook everyday fresh food. So yeah, it was a big investment, but it's what allows us to do what we do and make it fast.
So you make your own butters?
We make our own butters. We make our own milks, nut milks.
And peanut butter and almond butter is what I'm talking about.
Hummus, tahini, all of that. We make it ourselves, and also all the desserts. They're all our recipes. They're made with our homemade peanut butter when there's peanut butter, and so on. So, yeah, it's quite a challenge, and it's been a challenge, and but we really wanted to keep the production in house and do everything ourselves. And our next step will be moving into a centralized kitchen here in Florence to keep doing what we're doing, but having a bit more space.
I know you serve everyone that comes in the door, but is there any particular nationality? You get a lot of U.S. You probably get a lot of locals. Also, is there anything specific that who is enthusiastic most about your products?
Well, definitely, we have quite a variety of clients and locals. For locals, many locals, our concept was new, and they came in and they were trying to figure out what we were doing. But the ones that started coming in then are the most loyal. They come all the time because we're the only place where they can find what they discovered. And also, of course, Americans are one of our biggest clientele because they know they know the kind of food and they really appreciate finding an option like this here. So we have a lot of American students that study abroad here in Florence because the community is huge. We have over 50 campuses abroad of American universities in Florence. So during season, university season, it's very full of students. And then, yeah, of course, during tourism season, we have a bit of people from everywhere. And Australians love what we do, Scandinavians, yeah. So.
Well, I've noticed a younger population here. Like when I walked in, and I forget where they were from, they spoke English, but I know that was not their first language. I felt like it was, they weren't French, they weren't Italian. I don't know where they were from, but they were younger and maybe school age.
A lot of South Americans as well. We have a big South American community, a big Mexican community as well that comes and study here at Polymod and the fashion schools because, that attracts a lot of fashion students from all over the world. And it probably will seem a bit like obvious, but our clientele is 75% women. And sometimes I'm like, maybe this will change one day. But it's just because my answer is that women get, start listening to their body earlier and start understanding, try how they feel when they eat certain things and everything. And so are more aware. And yeah, hopefully podcasts like yours will help also the male community start realizing that a bit faster and changing the way they eat and not feeling forced to having to eat, whey protein and chicken and.
Right. Well, I think it's just also how you're built and we're built. If you're not introduced to the concept of prevention and eating well early on, it's normally in response to something bad that's happened. So people do it because a doctor has said something or they had a heart attack or they have high cholesterol or they don't exercise or they whatever. It's most of the time in response because we're not trained to think about prevention, which is not, of course, my audience because I'm all about prevention. And then, of course, how not to get wherever you've gotten and then how to be better regardless of where you are because we all can improve. I mean, there are basically very simple things people can do to increase their health all the time. And products like yours and places like yours are doing that. And I love that because I actually forgot on this trip to bring my chlorella. And then I saw that you have a coffee that has spirulina in it. And I was like, okay, cool. I can have a green coffee here. and still get the caffeine that I want right now, and to get a nice, clean algae so it can help my immunity while I'm here. And I've had some of the juice already, your celery juice. I'm going to try your kale juice next, but I think this is great, and I really wanted to share it with everyone who's out there. I've population all over the world. The majority are probably in America, but I definitely from Australia, New Zealand. They're my second largest population is New Zealand and Australia. But I thought it was a cool thing to share because, again, when people think of Italy, they do not think of necessarily greens and healthy and plant-based things. But I wanted to let them know that this is here, and I love that you're opening more. You have more stores, and I can only imagine it's going to get bigger. So next time I come back, or we come back, maybe we can chat again and see where you are then.
Definitely. Thank you so much again. It was great talking to you.
I want to open Pandora's box for just one quick second before we wrap up. So when you're not eating here, where do you eat? You eat pizza? You eat pasta? Do you eat what is your decadence?
So my favorite place to eat is at home. I'll be honest, but there are some very great historical restaurants here in Florence that do what they do from a long time. They're very good. They have a real culture in doing it, and so Trattoria Sostanza. Also love Camillo, of course, and so happen to go there. And then there's also a lot of new concepts coming out. So the actual like vegan, vegetarian, and just behind the corner here, there's a place called Brac. Very interesting. They have all biodynamic wines and vegan, vegetarian cuisine, and you should try it.
Hey everyone, we are back. We're still in Italy. We are now in Positano in the Amalfi Coast. We are here with Valentino. Valentino, welcome to the show.
Good morning and welcome in Positano.
Thank you. We just finished his class. He teaches a class. He has a shop here and a company in Positano. Making limoncello and limoncello marmalade.
Yeah, we make different products.
What are the products that you make?
Okay, my company is the Il Gusto della Costa. Is born in the 31 March 2000. I have another two partners work with me in Praiano, just the next village from Positano. And we have that passion for a long time ago. Look, I show you the bottle I make with my mom in 1969. Because now it's very easy. All you want to buy, you go in the market and you buy. But before it's not like that. Every product to make home, And my mother, she gave me that passion for the limoncello, mandarinetto, wild fennel, coffee. We make many. Now with the other friend, with the company Gusto della Costa, we make more product, And my mother gave me the passion to the marmalade too. In Gusto della Costa, we make limoncello, organic limoncello, wild fennel, mandarin, laurel, coffee, concerto. Triello is 3 agrumes together. Now the name is Triello, but when my mother make, I give the name Alima. Alima is for arancia, orange. In Italian, say orange, say arancia. Because lemon, limone. And ma is mandarin, mandarino. Now the name is Triello, is 3 agrumes together. We make organic limoncello too, wild fennel organic too. Because my company is organic factory too. 6 years ago, I have the passion for the marmalade for a long time ago. 6 years ago, with my wife, guess what? Lalla. We are back to shop in Positano. We have a nice view here. And with us, we make many tours. Like yours, we make this morning. And we make the limoncello tour. Or limoncello marmalade tour. We like to show the people is important lesson for making limoncello home, naturale, not chemical, And the people, she love that one. We are very, very busy in Positano for that one. And with my wife here, we are making many products too. Because marmalade, we have 25 the flavor of marmalade, because we make many agrumes. The top, the first one, the best, I'm sorry if I tell the quality that one, is a lemon. It's amazing. Because after we make different agrumes like orange, mandarin, we make 3 agrumes together is trees. We make kumquat. She come 4 agrumes together is a poker of agrumes. We make bergamotto, grapefruit. We make many of these products with pepper inside, spice, because this product is good for the breakfast. But we tell before in the tour, it's possible we can make the use it near the cheese, the duck, the fish, octopus, it's a nice, like when you eat the apple sauce with the pork or minjel with the lamb, it's exactly the same. And we make many combination with other company, we have the friend, we make some spalmed cream with olive oil, like Nutella. It's not Nutella. Eh?
No, it's better than Nutella.
Yeah, we make spalmed cream as nuts. Normally, we make with lemon inside. We make pistachio spalmed cream. And we have the spalmed pistachio with salt. Or white chocolate, olive oil, and lemon inside. All these 5 products is with olive oil, because in Italy we have fantastic olive oil,
See?
We have many products, the quality, the top in the world,
Yes.
this product,
Yes.
And with the limoncello we make the chocolate, the bonbon. We make panettone, Christmas cake. I think many people, this product, because it's much famous in Italy and now in the US too. We are making the different product. The panettone is the sponge cake. We don't make, normally is with the candy fruit or the candy grape. We are making the fruit candy, we make or lemon or we make mandarin. Lemon marmalade or mandarin marmalade, and the liqueur lemon or mandarin. Just two flavor we make, no other things. And the people, she love that one. And this product we make all year.
Yeah.
All year. Yeah, we send many in the US too. Because the people come in holiday here, make the tour, try the product. After you want to buy for Christmas, and we send, we are very happy for this one, because we like to give the quality, because the people come here, we make much hospitality, and me and my family. And, the people give money. We are like to give the quality.
Yeah.
Not take the money and don't give the quality.
Well,
Sorry.
we know it was very quality, and we took a class today because Doug and I have a lemon tree at home, and I want to make limoncello, and I learned a lot today from you about how to make it. Learned that some companies don't use real lemon.
Sometimes, yes. No, it's like in every product like that, Said this product is a traditional product. I show you that bottle I make with my mom in 1969. But the people make this product is born in the house, After the big company take for make a lot of money, because we send the money. But it's not all product is the original recipes.
Yes.
Make the aromas inside or some color. The product like that is all natural. Just a lemon peel without pesticide, sugar and water and alcohol. Nothing else.
Right. Very simple.
Yeah, very simple.
Very delicious.
Important, good quality the alcohol, and it's much important to start lemon Amalfi Coast.
What's so amazing is the view that you have from it. Is your home above the shop, or do you live?
No, just up there.
It's amazing. We're sitting on a balcony that's overlooking the entire landscape here in Positano, and it's just amazing. How long has your shop been here?
Here is just 6 years. Yes.
And below you have a garden where you have many different lemon trees, lemon vines, kumquats I saw down there.
Kiwi, mandarin, and orange.
So the entire scene is just amazing. We're right at the corner, just to give you kind of a visual, and you can check our Instagram account and you'll see some photos of today's interview. it's just picturesque. You can't help but just fall in love with not only you, Valentino, for your greatness and wonderful products.
Thank you.
But just for the view itself, it's just...
I know. I'm sorry if I speak, but we have a nice view. It's a vertical town, Positano. It's a romantic town. Today you are very happy because this morning is raining. Now I make the phone with the God. She covered the sun just for you, for make a nice photo today.
Grazie mille. We appreciate it because it was supposed to be raining today. But, one of the things that my birthday was Sunday.
Auguri.
And I've come now 3 times on my birthday, which of course is always cold and rainy. But what we love is that it's empty.
Yeah.
It's off season and we kind of get it to ourselves. So thank you, God, for the sun. Thank you, Valentino, for the sun, for the limoncello. You've lived here your whole life?
Yes.
You're born in Positano?
Yes, I am born in Positano, and the last week I make 67 years.
Oh.
I am old.
Oh, you're not old.
Yeah.
You're not old. You're ripe. You've aged well.
Yeah, I know. Ma that work give me the no, come si dice? I don't know in English. Give me the forza,
Yes. Yes.
It's important.
Foresight.
I have a lovely family too. I have 2 child. It's fantastic. Valentina and Andrea. And now stay in the school because if you stay there, Andrea, she make a song for you because she like song the tamburello, I speak many Italian song. She make the song with the limoncello.
Oh.
That I would make a present for you. Okay. I make everybody come in the summer here for make the tour, and he stay here not to go in swimming or go to school. She make that song for everybody. People she love, because it's natural.
Yeah.
She like that one.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
You were telling me before that you lived in New York for a little while?
I work for 4 years because 1972 to 1976, I work in the ship, the low boat. I work. Yes. And I am very, very young when I say there. And we make New York, Bermuda for 1 year. It's very fantastic. And after we make all Caribbean Sea, we are not make Cuba because that time is closed.
Yes.
And the last travel we make the Caribbean Sea, and after we make the walk around the world from New York, Panama, Fiji, New Zealand, Australia, Japan, China. Very, very, very important. She loved that one. We have a nice November.
Nice. Very nice.
And we come back in US in 2008 when I make married with my wife, because I have the friend of the restaurant in New York, Gigino. It's very nice food. One in Tribeca, another one in downtown, but now it's closed because I make the new place there. And we go there for a couple of days. After we like to bring my wife in the Caribbean Sea.
Nice. Well, we're going to recommend a couple things about Positano, this being one of them. You can find Valentino maybe on your Airbnb app. He has some there if he's open. And if not, maybe we could... You could make a reservation. We'll make sure to check out, again, the Instagram and the show notes to find the website and the information. And, of course, Instagram to show the pictures of Doug and my experience. And, of course, I'm going to be making limoncello. So grazie mille.
Oh, thank you for coming. We are very happy. We speak with you and all people. Ciao da Positano. Bye-bye from Positano. We wait in Positano, okay?
Where in the world are JJ and Doug now? We are in Naples, and we just had the most fun pizza making class with Luigi. Luigi, welcome to the show.
Ciao.
So tell us a little bit about you. Introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background.
It's easy for me. I love the food. So when I'm younger, I started to cook with my mom. So I have all traditional tester notion, and I learned with my mom. So I love traditional Napolitan food and pizza too.
Well, besides being one of the best pizza classes that we've had, and the first pizza class that we've had, to be honest, when did you start doing this class?
5 years ago. 5 years ago, is a passion for know to the world the Napolitan style, our tradition. We did a class. All world can do the passion that pizza maker in Naples have for the food.
Now, you made a very specific distinction today. You said you were not Italian. You are Neapolitan?
No, I'm not Italian, madam, please. Never say to me I'm Italian.
Okay.
I'm Napolitan. It's something else. It's really something else.
Can you explain?
Napolitan people think to passion in all. Normally we say Naples not is a city, not is a country. Naples is a world in a world. We have another system to live. We live with a passion. We with the contact with the people. We smile always. We try the better in the hard moment. We are same phoenix. We smile always. And have something else.
Okay, so that's the difference between Italian and Neapolitan, is the passion?
Yeah, is the passion.
So it's not about location.
No,
It's about attitude.
the location is only the God. When the God think to make Naples, he was too happy and he enjoyed the world with our city.
Okay. So when you come here, because I am Italian, but maybe I'm also Neapolitan then when I'm here in Naples, yes?
Yeah.
Would that be right?
Yeah.
Now, you guys have done something very different and unique that, we were in Florence and we were in Positano. And one of the things that most people do not think of when they think of Italy is gluten-free. But you have the best. You have now taken rank to the best gluten-free crust we've ever had. Doug confers with that. And so when did you start doing gluten-free flour here?
I make this recipe 6 years ago maybe for my brother. He have a daughter. She's celiac. She's my princess, really. I love she. So I want for she the best pizza in the world, gluten-free. I test something else. So we can do now to look under the test a good gluten-free pizza. In it pizza, in it dough, we have the love for the family and the passion for our people, for our food.
Well, you can taste and see the passion. So Doug and I came to the class and we met Ellen, and I'm going to introduce you to Ellen. Ellen, say hello.
Hello.
What's about you?
I'm from Sweden and I'm here in Naples to do an internship in molecular ecology. And I eat gluten-free and I'm very happy that I attended this class. I need to make this at home. I can't go home and never eat this pizza again.
Now, you're not hearing from Doug because he's too busy shoving his face. Hold on.
Oh my God. We've had a lot of pizza since we've been here in Italy. This is by far, when I go home, the idea is, well, what am I going to take as a memory? This pizza is the memory that I'm going to take. I want to have this for the next 3 days. Is that okay? We'll just keep coming back here.
Well, we're not here for 3 more days, but we can keep coming back here. We're leaving with 3 pizzas, so I think we're going to be good for the next 24 hours. But if we're not, I'm sure we can come back. And again, he's eating, so you'll hear more about this interview later when Doug is literally done eating his pizza because his number one priority is this pizza. So Luigi, if you were to tell people what to expect when they come to class with you, because we'll talk about the class ourselves and our experience, which was great. What would you tell people they would learn when they come here to your class?
When we want to learn, to me, you can have only the starter. The rest is in your hand. The word is in our hand, if we know what we do. I say to you all the secrets that my grandpa said to me, that my ma said to me. So when you come there for learn Napolitan food, not only the pizza. The pizza is the best dishes that we have. It's most popular in the world. But there you can learn the passion for eat the best food.
Yeah. Now, you're still eating, Doug. All right. So we're recording a podcast and you're just going to keep eating pizza, which is great. So in your restaurant here, in the restaurant where you're the chef, now obviously the pizza class is something you do often and it's one of the biggest draws to your restaurant. What other dishes would people have here that you love to make and prepare that you think is very, very good?
For me, the best dishes in Napolitan style is Genovese, onion ragu sauce. for me is amazing. It's one of the old dishes in Naples. Same pasta with potato and provola cheese. Provola cheese is smoked mozzarella. Napolitan dishes is a lot. The tradition is really, really a lot. We have a lot typical plate, but for me, Genovese sauce is amazing.
So
I love it.
that's just the sauce.
Yeah, onion sauce is the same ragu of the tomato, but not with the tomato, with the onion.
Oh.
We have a typical onion in this region, Campania. Yeah, and it's the really, really best onion sauce in the world.
Wow. Well, we may have to come back to try that then too, because that's new to me. All right. So let's.
And if you want, you can test it in gluten-free.
I'm going to have the pizza. You come have the ragu.
We have a pizza with onion sauce.
Okay, but we just blended the two together. We don't have to.
Pizza in Naples not is only margherita. It's margherita, fried pizza, and something else topping, not pineapple and banana.
Okay, yeah. The joke during class was Ellen is from Sweden, and she said that tell the story.
Well, in Sweden, there's usually a big discussion about this. Like there's two teams, the team fruit on pizza and the team go kill yourself if you put fruit on the pizza. So it's either pineapple or another pizza. I don't like this one. It's with curry and banana. And I met some like international students coming to Sweden. They can't eat the pizza. They're like, what are you doing? This is crazy. So I think they would like the pizza here better.
I've never heard of curry with banana pizza ever, and it sounds interesting. I won't say it sounds bad only because I love curry and I love banana and love pizza. I don't know that I love them all together. That's a very weird thing. But here, Doug Sandler?
You know, wine. Wine is another added value when you come to this restaurant. Luigi broke out a bottle of his own reserve. That was amazing. It was a great finish, beginning, middle, and end. Really, really good. The primary wine that we had was I think it was a red blend also, right?
Aglianico.
Say that one more time.
Aglianico.
Aglianico. And that was awesome. But when you broke out the reserve, I'm like, why would I ever go back to the Aglianico?
Yeah.
Because you still have some in the glass. Can you explain what this is? Aglianico, the grape?
Yeah, Aglianico is the grape. It's the typical popular grape in Campania. With it, we can have a low juice, lighter and stronger. With it, wine, normally this wine is ready in 3-4 years. Okay, first year in the plastic, then in the metal box. So in wood, if we have a reserve for 3 years more, and we have the Taurasi, the best expression of Aglianico. In Taurasi, we can test the tobacco, the chocolate, and the big sherry. It's really, really amazing. My blow is the same this wine.
Right, because you just drink wine.
Dark red and stronger.
Okay. Well, make sure to check out our Instagram in order to see, and you can check out Something to Wine About Instagram also to see the bottle, because we're going to take pictures of the bottle and definitely taste the wine. So Luigi, your class was very fun. I would recommend, and so will Doug, we'll talk about it later to introduce this podcast. Ellen, thank you so much for being a part of the show and a part of our class. It was nice to meet you and have a fellow gluten-free person, so I didn't feel like the weirdo. Not that I would have eaten the normal. But your class was so fun. You have a large personality. I wish you the best of luck, and I want you to go into wine next, yes?
Thank you.
When you have your winery, you call me, and we come back, and we'll do a whole show about your wine. Yes?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Wine for all world.
Excellent. Salute.
Salute, thank you.